Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Lucid podcast. I'm here with your boy Ollie, who's in the first podcast. It's just a duo session now, we haven't got as many people involved.
It's a bit of a one-on-one.
Yeah, it's a bit of a one-on-one chat. We're going to have some interesting conversation and I hope you enjoy it. So the first thing I want to do is shout out Ollie's clothing brand because he's helping me put some out there. He's liking some of the stuff. He posted some Instagram about the first podcast he was on. So it's OTA clothing.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm alright there.
You are.
Don't
correct.
want to get it wrong. It'll come up, search on Google or just I'll put it in the link in the description. As long as with the time codes. I didn't say that last time. I think I've said that at the end of every video.
Yeah.
But I've not actually
End of the video,
said it
not
at the
the
start. Yeah. So people that don't really give a shit probably don't look in the description. But I do leave the time codes in. So if you haven't got as much time but you are interested in some of the topics we talk about, just scroll through to them. It's way easier. So, should we start off by talking about business because obviously you're new to your clothing brand and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Have you got any pointers to start us off, sort of thing?
It's hard work.
Yeah. You realise that just from...
I always knew it would be hard work,
Yeah.
and my parents were like, it's going to be hard, but you only ever I think you only ever realise how hard it is until you start doing it.
Yeah.
And I think you'll obviously realise it with your podcasting.
Yeah.
Once you start doing something, you actually realise, oh, I never thought you'd have to think of all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it seems to be quite a simple thing. You put clothes on the website, people buy it. But there's so much background stuff that you have to do. You have to update stuff all the time. Do constant research.
Yeah.
Because it's stressful.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant.
I think having something to stress about that you actually care about is way, way better than having something that... Or like going to school not really caring and stressing about
it, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, way better.
A lot of people... I'm 17, just turned 17.
Yeah.
So I set it up this year and I was 16. And a lot of my friends and my peers were saying, oh, why have you done that? And they were so confused at the concept of running a business at our age. But when teachers, this kind of links to education, when teachers say, what do you want to do? Well, I'm doing what I want to do. I want to run my own business.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to do it full time. I'm currently doing my A-levels.
Do you think you'll finish A-levels?
It's a difficult one because I couldn't quit my A-levels and just focus on OTA because it just wouldn't work.
Yeah.
But I don't think I will.
You don't think you'll finish?
No.
Alright. That's interesting because that must be quite hard to come to terms with. Like doing something that you're not necessarily wanting to do and finish.
Yeah.
That's how it was. Like I've spoke about it before, but like the first year of A-levels for me was I was there. I didn't really want to be there, and by like the middle of the term or year, I didn't want to go to uni, so there was no point. So I had the option to move or go to college.
Mm-hmm.
So I can imagine doing something that you necessarily don't want to do
It's so... In one sense, it's really difficult, and in another sense, it's just the easiest option. Like, my parents want me to get my A-levels, ideally. And I wouldn't mind having them. Yeah. Because, if I want to go out and get a job, having my A-levels is better than having my GCSEs. But, firstly, the sixth form that I go to, it's a school. Yeah. And I hate that. I hated education, I hated school, and I'm still in school. Yeah. And I just, as I'm getting older, I'm hating it more and more because I'm still getting treated like a 11-year-old. Yeah. And I just can't stand that.
I think in terms of what suits certain people is obviously you don't enjoy that, being chased for work. So having to be independent by yourself might benefit you personally, and sometimes having someone chasing you doesn't help at all.
No.
It makes you more reliant on them and less reliant on yourself, and yourself not purpose but wanting to do something, like the desire to achieve something.
Thing is, with education, throughout my experience of education, everyone's is different. The only way they've ever been able to motivate you or try to motivate you is tell you that if you don't do well, you're gonna have a shit life.
Yeah, yeah.
And we have assemblies in sixth form, and from the outset of sixth form, it's been if you don't get these A levels,
yeah,
you're gonna have a shit job.
Yeah.
And you won't be able to do what you want to do. And I sit there and think, I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
Because you saying that if I don't get my A levels and I'm going to have a shit life, makes me want to fail my A levels and then have a cracking life and then look at you and say, didn't need my A levels anyway.
Yeah. Throughout school, it starts off with like, in year 7, it's like you're working towards your GCSEs.
Yeah.
If you don't do GCSEs and pass them, you'll never go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then you realise that actually you don't have to do that well in GCSEs, and you can go to like college. And I
think GCSEs are more essential because like almost everyone has them, and if you apply for a job, they want to see that you've got GCSEs. But with A levels, I think it's good if you want to get a job because it proves you've gone one better than GCSEs. But I think unless you want to go to university, they're pretty pointless.
Yeah.
Because if you're in a job interview with someone who's got A levels or someone who's got experience, they're going to go for the people with experience.
Yeah, definitely.
And like that's why apprenticeships are so attractive to me. I'd love to go out and get an apprenticeship, but it's just more difficult logistically.
Yeah.
Like going to school is pretty easy.
Yeah.
I get up in the morning, catch the bus, go home at night, catch the bus, get home, and then that's it. So for me, the A levels were like, there weren't even a decision. I just kind of slotted into it.
Yeah.
But I've just realised I really don't want to do it.
Yeah. You can kind of allow yourself just to follow the easiest route in general, and having like something like your clothing to take your mind off it, to like push you forward, and then have an urge to do something outside of just sixth form. And even if you do decide to complete your A levels and then you don't go to university and go for a job in some like business management or something, and you can show them OTA, even if it wasn't that successful, if it was successful in any way, it shows that you've tried, and that's better than someone that's just got A levels and worked their arse off for A levels.
So I study A level business.
I was going to say,
and a lot of people are like, oh yeah, you do business at school, so it'll help you with your business. I've taken GCSE business. I think I got a B in that or something, and I'm doing my A level business, and not once have I learned anything in those lessons that I could probably relate to running a business. Yeah. And that's what frustrates me so much is I'm learning these new things in business. Yeah. And you have to learn certain things in business, and it will happen that way. Well, it won't, because running a business is completely different in every aspect. Yeah. And that's what frustrates me so much is it's learning this stuff, not so you know how to run a business, or like my criminology, not so you can understand crime, or my sociology, not so you can understand society. It's so you can pass the exam. Yeah, it literally in GCSE, like French, for example, you don't know what you're saying in French. I'm pretty sorry. In a speaking exam, at GCSE level, you don't know what you're saying. You literally just written something down in lesson and then just rehearse the syllables of that like thing, and you kind of know what along the lines of what you're saying, but you don't know until I think at A level it's different. Like when you learn a language at A level. Yeah, languages, because I know a few people that have learned like I don't know if I can say her name. Yeah, Tara. She did German, I think. Yeah. And she could speak like pretty decent German. Yeah. I think languages, like applying yourself to like a language, is like not just help you in that subject, like in other subjects, in terms of like the ability to take on new information and process it, and then be able to recite that information, like for your own personal progression in learning. Being able to speak a language is quite like it's really beneficial. But at GCSE, I'm saying it is like it's just pass an exam. Yeah. So you've got a letter next to your name. Yeah, and also at maths at GCSE, it's like you're literally just doing sums to pass an exam. Yeah. None of them you'll use in real life. No. And that's what frustrates me so much, is the fact that what you learn in the education system is, a lot of people have said to me, oh yeah, you don't learn important stuff for life, but you learn how to learn.
Yeah.
But then I say, right, so just let me know where the textbooks are for life.
Yeah.
Because I could do with them.
Yeah.
Because there aren't any.
Yeah.
And everyone's is different. And that's why education for me just doesn't work. Now, I'm not saying it because, like, kids all hate school. Everyone hates school. School's shit.
Yeah.
I hated school because I knew it could be useful and there is an opportunity for education to be enriching people's lives.
Yeah.
But it's just a waste of time.
Yeah.
A waste of time and a waste of money.
Yeah. I think my opinion on university is a bit jaded. Because, not even jaded, but I've seen, like, I've been to universities, I've stayed in university dorms, and you can see the money being made by the second by universities, and they're literally just a business. Like, there's this one lad at college who was shockingly bad at college. Like, he didn't do any of his coursework or anything, and he applied for a sport and exercise science course at Sheffield Uni. I think it was Hallam anyway, which is a fairly well-respected sports university, and he didn't have any of his, like, he did the first year and he did quite well, but in the second year, by the last week, he hadn't done any of his work, and and he got accepted into Sheffield Hallam without an unconditional.
Right.
So the reason they did that is probably because the course wasn't full, and it's fucking $9,000 in their pocket. And then if he stays and does it again, it's another like 18.
University confuses me so much, because a lot of people say to me, "Oh, you'd love university."
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't love university. I'd love getting pissed every night.
Yeah. I love the lifestyle. Like,
same.
I honestly would.
But then I think to myself, yeah, so that would be worth it. Or I could get on with my life and then maybe at the weekend go out with my mates and get pissed.
Yeah.
Instead of spending money on university and then going and living somewhere else. And I'd love to go live somewhere else. I want to travel the world.
Yeah.
And go live in different countries. But I don't want to move away somewhere just to get an education, which I'm probably, I could go, get pissed up for 4 years or whatever it is, and come out with nothing. And I'm in 50-something grand's worth of debt.
Yeah, and even more, like having the debt from housing, from like food debt, from all that, and like student loans and stuff, and
it's not that puts me off though, because like I understand how you pay it off.
Yeah,
it doesn't really affect you. But for me, that's just another reason not to go on top of many. And like, I don't understand again how you can teach in a classroom how your job or how your life is going to work.
Yeah, well, I think
that just blags my head.
The most like beneficial part of university is having the placement year in like, because some do 3 years, then a placement year in the fourth year.
Yeah.
So having that and actually going out and experiencing it, a lot of people say that is the most beneficial bit to them.
Because you get out into the workplace.
And you feel literally what it is like to be there. Wake up every day for, 6 months or whatever. Wake up every weekday, go to work and actually experience what it's like to be there, working the job you possibly want to do. But then again, if you haven't experienced that till the fourth year, you go into it and you're like, oh, it's going to be great. And then you go in and you're like, fuck, it's shit.
You could have just got an apprenticeship.
Yeah.
For a year.
Yeah. Or you could have done, I think a good way universities would work is having a placement year the first year, maybe doing 6 months at university, and then 6 months in a placement.
I think everyone would just leave.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you come out with a degree, and then like, you get onto this, I think it's just like, stupid. Oh, you get a degree, you're going to earn more money. Well, no, you're not. You're just more employable.
But if you make yourself employable in the 4 years that it takes someone to go to uni, I feel like someone is more employable that way.
Yeah, if you spent 4 hard years
grafting, like grafting for a cause or for something that you're interested in, it's much more employable than sitting in a classroom for 4 years.
But I think most people just like go along with the system.
I think,
and I've been told that before. You've just got to play the system.
Yeah.
Well, why? You've played the system and you couldn't be asked to challenge the system. So why have I got to just sit there and go through the system? Like with education, you're not allowed to challenge it. You just got to get on with it, even though it's wrong. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like the teachers can't teach because the children don't want to be taught. And then you've got, like, I've noticed in my school, the government can't fund schools. So our school, the funding's been cut massively. So there's no resources.
Yeah.
And then you're left to get your resources. But I don't want the resources, so I'm not going to get the resources. So I'm not going to learn, so I'm not going to pass the exam.
Yeah.
So it's all pointless.
Yeah. For, like, people that have gone to sixth form, and then at that point where you get your results, and if you didn't get the results you wanted and you're not going to be able to get into university, I can imagine it's a horrible feeling that you've built up for 7 years your life to go to university and then have it essentially taken away from you. And university for a lot of people is a getaway from accepting a working life.
Yeah, I agree in some sense, but like if you want to be a lawyer, it's important to get a law degree. If you want to be a doctor,
100%.
I'm not going to go to a doctor who hasn't got a doctor's degree.
I've been working back in my garage.
Yeah, I've just been getting 4 years experience.
You sound like a right weirdo. But for jobs like that. But I think a job like a journalist, you could start a blog up. Even if you're at university, you could do this. Start a blog up, start writing stuff, and then when you finish university, it's possible that you can show that to an employer, show that to a media outlet, and go, look, I've done my degree, I've got it, but I've also got a blog which has got however many hits.
But I think another problem, this personally links all together, because I think there's a problem with the whole country. As in, I know people that, so my parents don't necessarily understand the concept of like a blog or a YouTube channel, or like you can work from home now. You can do stuff online and all that. I don't think teachers understand it, and I don't think probably most of the government understand it because they haven't grown up. And the country's changed so much over the past 50 years, but I think it's changed so much in the past 10 years because of the internet. And, excuse me, education has sort of been like exposed to the internet changing so much that it's not worth anything anymore. Because the power of an internet profile is more powerful than like any degree. Yeah. You get a doctor's degree, become a doctor. If you've got 1 million followers on Twitter, you can do more with that million followers on Twitter. Yeah. Because you can influence so many people. Yeah. And you could never do that before. Yeah. Because there was no outlet to do it. But now there's an outlet to do it. Yeah. And you've got people running YouTube channels. And some of them are horrendous. Yeah. Like, there's some YouTubers that have got like 2 million subs and they're dog shit. But they're earning like 80 grand a month. Yeah. It's insane. And I don't think there's any jobs out there that you can go work for someone and earn that amount of money. Yeah. It's changing how we interact with each other. Yeah. And how people see other people in terms of I've watched YouTube for a long time and followed certain personalities, and it would seem like you can find a lot out. You can find a lot about a person by who they watch on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, don't look at my subscriber list. You can find a lot out. Back to business, business link. I'm planning on making some clothing with you. We've talked about it now. Definitely. Even though I dropped your name on that end of the podcast last time. Well, not dropped your name, but as I said, we wanted to do something.
So we've got some interesting stuff coming out for that, and
hopefully.
then we'll work on that.
Yeah, definitely.
And then also, I think after this podcast, I'm going to submit it for review on iTunes.
Yes, definitely.
So you send them an episode and they review it, and then it takes maybe a week to review it and see what's what, and then hopefully they accept it and it can go on to Apple iTunes.
Yeah.
Store. I think thinking about it now, in the middle of the week, I might do a review episode, just not kind of looking back, seeing how I feel about the podcasts that have been so far.
Yeah.
I know there's only been 3, but I think a 10-minute video to the people who don't necessarily have enough time to listen to a full episode is good.
Yeah.
Just to tell them what's happening. Yeah. So, what do you want to talk about now? Let me just have a quick look. We could talk about some sport, because we've talked a bit about serious shit. We can sports serious, ain't it? But
affects a lot of people's lives.
Yeah, I think in terms of when I talk about sport, obviously I link it to my past experience and stuff. So swimming, and then football before I was swimming. But I think sport means so much more to like It's on an individual basis. Like sport to you can mean completely different to anyone else.
Definitely.
I think it's one of the things that unifies so many people.
It unifies so many people, but it also separates so many people.
Yeah, like football, obviously. In this country, it's like tribes.
It is, and some of it is horrible.
Yeah.
Some of it's brilliant, and when something tragic happens, we can all form and be brilliant. But then, when there's like a local derby, some of the stuff that happens is just unnecessary, and I don't understand some of it. And I know a lot of people that think they're called football fans, where they all go fight each other.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant. It's great fun. I just think it's fucking stupid.
It is a bit stupid.
What are you doing wasting your life fighting?
I'm going to change the subject here a little bit, but I've never started a fight in a club because you don't know who you're fighting.
No.
And I would never, I don't think, unless someone went for me.
I don't understand the concept of fighting unless it's as a sport.
Yeah.
Like boxing or UFC or MMA.
Yeah.
Or like wrestling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I understand that. There's rules and it's confined.
And you know who you're fighting. But if I go to a club and just start fucking with someone.
Yeah.
And they swing for me, they could be
Great
British UFC champion.
But the thing is, if you want to fight, go fight in a ring and go fight where it's safe. Because fighting's never safe. But if you're fighting in a ring, it's you.
A little bit.
Yeah,
safer.
It's safer because you've obviously you've got a mouth guard, and you've got people around you that are going to help you if you're hurt.
Yeah.
You go fight someone because you support one football team, and I'm going to fight you, Joe, because you support a different one. I've never met you before. You could be a nice guy. We might get on really well. But I'm going to hit you really hard because I don't like you.
Yeah.
And then you might fall over and hit your head on the curb and die.
Yeah.
But it was all because you supported a different team.
Yeah.
The concept of it is stupid.
Yeah.
And that's why, with swimming, me and you obviously can both relate to, I'm happy that, obviously, swimming has no following compared to football.
Yeah.
But there's no, stuff like that. There's team rivalries, but you're not going to fight about it, are you?
Yeah. It's bizarre. And even at, Sunday league games.
It's horrendous.
So much, at my age group, over 20s or over 18s or whatever, Sunday league games are fucking aggressive, and they
too much testosterone.
Yeah, it's people use that as a fucking outlet to air their grievances and fight people, and you don't know who you're fighting. That's what would worry me if I was ever to get in a fight in town. It'd be I don't know who I'm fighting. I'm probably gonna get my head kicked in. I'm not.
Listening to Joe Rogan a lot, I think I've learned it's an important skill to be able to defend yourself.
Yeah.
And I'd love to learn. I don't want to learn how to knock someone out.
Yeah.
But I'd love to learn how to, if someone's trying to hit me.
Yeah.
Just shut them up a little bit or stop them.
Yeah.
Because I never want to be in that situation. I'm a big lad.
Yeah.
And I've had people in the past, because I'm a big lad, want to like almost
little man syndrome. Sort of
test themselves against me. Like there's no need for it. But oh, you're big, so you must like want to fight me. Well, no, I don't care about you. Just leave me alone.
Yeah. In like when Joe Rogan talks about like in the past when people have challenged him.
Yeah, you should put him to sleep.
if you are trained in any way, even if you've only done like 3 hours of boxing training,
you're going to be
3
times better than that person that's not had any.
Yeah, it's insane. And it's like when we swim, people are like, "Oh, you're a bit of a good swimmer. I bet I could beat you in a length."
Yeah, so many people have said that to me.
But it's like I train to beat people.
Yeah.
So it's like.
And I've trained 18 hours this week.
Yeah.
So. And how many hours have you been training in your whole life?
Yeah, probably 18.
Yeah.
If that.
And swimming's, like, I've stopped swimming now. And I do miss it a little bit. I miss the competitive side of it.
Yeah.
Because I loved, obviously, I knew who my opponents were because there was a select few of us when it got to the national level.
Yeah.
And I knew who was there to beat.
Yeah.
And I'd know how fast they swam and who they were and where they were from and everything. And I loved that kind of mindset of thinking, how am I going to beat them?
Yeah.
But I hated training.
Yeah.
And you can't beat them if you don't train.
Yeah.
So many people keep saying to me, such a shame you've stopped.
Yeah.
All right, let's do 1 week. You get up at 4 a.m. and then you go swim for 2 hours and go in the gym and lift some weights.
Yeah.
It's vile.
It is vile.
It is vile.
It's disgusting, but I think...
But if you enjoy it...
It's easy.
Take it as far as you want. And like, I would urge you never to stop something if you enjoy it even the slightest.
Yeah.
Because that enjoyment will lead to desire. And if you've got a desire for something, you can literally do anything with it.
Yeah.
Especially in sport.
Yeah.
If you've got the physical attributes, it's then not down to the physical attributes, it's down to the mindset.
Yeah. But I think a lot of people think of, oh, you've got an amazing physique for swimming or whatever, a sport like rugby. But if you don't want to do it, it's and you're still doing it, you're never going to be successful in it.
Or even if you're good at it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to brag about me being good. I was good though.
Yeah.
And because like family members, you're the best ever at this sport in our family.
Yeah. So
why would you stop doing it?
Yeah.
Well, because I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
It's almost too simple for people to understand. Is if you don't want to do something, I'm not going to do it. No matter how much you want me to do it. And that's why I kept doing it for so long. It was not because I wanted to do it, because other people wanted me to do it. But that's swimming. So it's complicated.
In like your life recently, there's obviously been, you've gone from GCSEs to sixth form, and then like stopped swimming, which you've been doing since you were
competitively since I was about 10.
Yeah, so it's like massive.
Before that, 3 or 4 years, so probably like 12, 13 years I've been doing it.
So like it's a massive like transition in your life, and that coming to a transition, like a life transition, can be very scary. And
very scary.
It, like we were saying, it makes you choose an easier path when
it's not the best path.
It's not necessarily the best path for you.
Thing is with me, everything is different for everyone. But the way I've experienced is, you learn specific things in primary school. Like, you learn moods. I can remember learning, like, drawing pictures and teachers saying, this is happy. And then this is sad.
Yeah.
And then this is good and this is bad and stuff like that. And then you move up to secondary school.
Yeah.
And you start to learn irrelevant stuff, but you take it on anyway. And then you get to the point where you need to get ready for GCSEs. And for me, that was the point where I started to look further. Yeah. Because I was on YouTube. It's an outlet. You can learn stuff. I'm watching people that are 24, 25, upwards. And they've like got a life. And then I started to think, shit.
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
Yeah.
And then that gets scary because you've not been taught what you can do.
Yeah.
Like, secondary school, they're all like, well, if you get good GCSEs, you can then do your A-levels.
Yeah.
Right, but what are A-levels? What do they do for me? What do they teach me?
Yeah.
And how do they develop me? Because I want to develop as a person.
Yeah.
And it's all through watching Joe Rogan. Like,
yeah.
I've understood
Honestly.
how so many different people have affected this world and this life that we all have.
Yeah.
I couldn't give a shit if I've got qualifications or not. I just want to make a difference.
Yeah.
And that's more important to me than any qualification you could ever give me. And that's so scary.
Yeah.
And the thought of not knowing how you're going to do that, for me, was like petrifying.
Yeah. There was it's kind of related, but he had a really good guest on. I can't remember his name, it's going to piss me off. But he said that when he was younger, he was abused. He was in an abusive family, and like his dad would treat him like shit and all this. Obviously, I don't have a clue what they're talking about. I'm very lucky to have the family that definitely. I've got and the support around me. But he was saying that this had happened to him and all this, and then when he became an adult, he became a personal trainer. And then through YouTube and other social media platforms, he became a very influential personal trainer. And he was saying how he'd influence people. Well, no, Joe was saying how he'd influence people and how he'd even influenced him. But he said that one day a kid came up to him and said, "Hi, I can't remember your name. Like, I can't remember his name." So he was like, "Hi, you've made me feel better. It gave me the confidence to talk about my home issues to someone." And he was like, "That meant more to me than anything else." Definitely. And he said that, "I do not give a shit what I went through. I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel sorry for myself. But knowing that kid has gained something from listening to me is more than anything else in his life, any other of his achievements." So I'm not saying that I want to be someone that's influential, because I'd just like putting things out there at the minute.
Yeah.
But if someone was to ever come up to me and like, thank you for it, that would mean more to me than someone employing me to a job and getting a pay rise. Do you know what I mean?
Employment for me, I must be very different to everyone else, because employment for me just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I couldn't work for someone.
Yeah.
Because they'd mistreat me, because it always happens in the workplace, and I'd say, "Fuck you, I don't give a shit. It's your business. Go fucking sort it yourself."
Yeah.
Whereas, and this is something that I've noticed about my business, nobody will ever care about your business as much as you do.
Yeah.
And that's such a hard concept to come up with, because you're telling people about this clothing brand you've got, and then you tell them and they don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
And then you're hurt because they don't give a shit. But then you have to realise that and think, well, yeah, it's my clothing brand.
Yeah.
I'm running it.
I'm
kind of making a bit of money from it. They're not going to care that much about it.
Yeah.
So you got to find the people that don't necessarily care about it, but are willing to take part in it.
Yeah, I think when you get to a certain age, you suddenly realise that it's not just your inner circle in the world.
Oh, no.
It's insane to think about, and it's so obvious, but there's so many other people with just the same, like, they've got as complex lives as you.
Yeah.
But you don't necessarily see that. And when you're younger, I'd say it happened to me at like 15, I realised that, like, you see someone walking down the street, oh wait, they've got an insanely complex life. So you telling them about something you're doing, they're not necessarily going to care.
Because it doesn't involve in their life.
Yeah, and it doesn't
that's
affect them immediately.
I think that's what scared me so much, is I remember it as one day, but I'm pretty sure it must have been like a gradual understanding that the world is a fucking horrible place.
Yeah, it is mean.
Yeah.
But I think you are able to make your world, personal world, happier if you are willing to work on it.
But then someone can come and take it just like that.
Yeah.
Not your life necessarily, but a certain, well, they could, but a certain aspect of your life, which means so much that then it seems like your world's ended.
Yeah.
And I think it's in your head. Your head plays so many tricks with you. Is a certain thing might happen in your life in a negative way, and it could be a little thing or it could be a huge thing, and your brain tells you, well, that's it. There's no point anymore.
Yeah.
It's game over.
Yeah.
And it'll keep telling you that, and it'll make it seem like this issue is never going to go away. Like you could have lost your car keys, or you could have lost a family member or something.
Yeah.
And it's until you can understand that part of your brain like wants you to fail.
Yeah.
Because I always thought it's me against everyone else.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's actually part of me versus the other part of me.
Yeah.
And once you can accept that you've got to realise that in yourself there is a negative part of you and a positive part of you, and once you can channel your vision into that positive sort of mindset, you can be successful.
I think coming to realise that, it's a little bit about realising that no one really gives a shit if you fuck up. Do you know what I mean? Not necessarily like cares for you, but in terms of if I go up to someone and I make a bit of an idiot of myself and I embarrass myself, they're probably going to think about it for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But then when you're younger in school, you sit on that shit for the rest of your life.
You think about it for ever, don't you?
Yeah.
I can still remember certain situations and certain days, like even awkward situations where I've said something which wasn't necessary to say, and it's just made me feel like a bit of a dick in that moment.
Yeah.
I can still remember the feeling and what I said and where it was.
Yeah.
Because it played over on my mind so much.
Yeah.
Now I don't care about it. I just look at it and think, yeah, that's a bit cringy, but whatever.
But you'll be thinking, oh, I bet those people remember the last time I saw them.
Yeah.
Like when I worked as a lifeguard, I would, in like public situations, when you first start working in that place, you're like, oh, I bet that person remembers what I did last time. But their life is just as retarded as yours.
Yeah.
So like going back home, they're not going to be thinking at all about it.
This is a personal thing, which is a massive negative of my personality, is I always think about the worst thing that can happen.
Yeah, same.
So whatever situation it is, it might even be like doing something I want to do.
Yeah.
But I'll then think about, but this could happen.
Yeah. And
like you can't think of stuff like that, and I still do it. I do it like I've probably done it today.
Yeah.
Like, and it confines you so much sometimes, because for me, I'll sometimes not put myself in a social situation because I'm scared of the outcome.
Yeah.
When it would have been fine.
Yeah.
Like, someone might not have said something that I thought they were going to say. And usually, I think other people are going to do things negatively towards me, and they never do.
Yeah.
And you spend so much energy worrying about it.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't happen, and you're like, I've spent so much time thinking that was going to happen.
It's like, say at school you do something wrong in class, or you misbehave, and then the whole weekend, if it's Friday, the whole weekend you're thinking about that till Monday, and nothing comes of it.
So I had a really weird stage. I think it was year 11. I can't remember exactly when it was, but it was for the whole of the year, school year. I was asked to read something out once in class. It was business, and I was like, I said the wrong word for one word, and someone said to me, "Oh, you can't even read," as a joke.
Yeah.
Like, because I got one word wrong. And then from that moment, if someone asked me to read, I would literally have a panic attack.
Yeah.
I'm not even a little panic attack. My heart rate would go to like 160, 170. I would sweat, and I wouldn't even be able to like speak.
Yeah.
Now, I tell people this, and they're like, "Really?" But I had a few friends in that class, and if they're listening now, they'll be like, "Yeah, it was fucking weird," because I was having like a mental breakdown because someone had asked me to read.
Yeah.
And it became this kind of like joke in the class, because whenever like someone read, they get to choose who read next. Everyone would pick me.
Yeah.
Because they liked watching me have this fucking mental breakdown. And it wasn't even like, it got to the point where I would wake up in the morning on the day I had business resenting it because I thought I might get picked to read.
Yeah.
And it was horrendously nerve-wracking for me.
But what you will have been thinking in your head is, oh my God, everyone's thinking about that. Everyone's going to be... And if it was a joke in class, but they're not going home thinking, oh, Ollie's such an idiot, he can't read.
Yeah.
But in your head, you're going home thinking, I can't read.
I'm a fucking twat.
Yeah.
I can't read. I'm 16 and I can't read.
Yeah, but like.
But at that point in my life, it wasn't just reading. Like, if you said, right, Ollie, you need to come to the front of the class and just say something about yourself, I would have been a nervous wreck.
Yeah.
Even sometimes, I think it got to the point where I was at Vulcans, and like I would comfortably talk to you and Danny and like our close friends, but like sometimes talking to other people was such like a difficult thing for me. And I don't know why it happened, because I've always been a confident sort of person.
Yeah.
And excuse me, I'll talk to like anyone.
Yeah.
But I went for a stage, and I'm still kind of sort of recovering from it, of being confident enough to talk to people.
Yeah. I coach for our club, and I still get nervous, like saying, "Oh, six kicks off the wall."
Yeah.
To like people that are way younger than me, but I'm nervous that they'll be like, "Oh, he's such an idiot. Why is he telling me that?"
Yeah.
I'm getting past it, and it's a learning curve, definitely, but it is something that plays on your mind.
Yeah.
If you don't tame it a little bit. But it's one of those things.
It's another trick of your brain, isn't it?
Yeah.
And like it just makes you realise how complex it is.
Yeah.
I think I'll never understand, but I kind of acknowledge how complex your brain is, and also how complex you are as a person. Because like it's complicated and it's messy, but when you kind of self-reflect, you can learn so much about yourself. Because I've struggled mentally probably more in the past year, because I think because of the amount of change in my life, and my mum always says to me, "Oh, you don't like change." Like even if it's like the littlest thing, like painting my bedroom, she's like, "Oh, you don't like change." And it's not that I don't like change, it's just sometimes change can be really scary. Like not the change of the colour of my bedroom, but changing from being in education from primary school to secondary school, and then saying, right, you can either do this or you can go out and get a job or get an apprenticeship. And then when you're in A-levels, there's this change that's going to come after that. You'll then be an adult and you've got to just get on with life.
Yeah.
Even though you've not been taught about it.
But I think school does teach you in a way, because in my school there was 3 classrooms. It was a really small school. There was year 1 and 2, this is primary school. Year 1 and 2, year 3 and 4, and year 5 and 6.
Same one, yeah.
And when you're a kid, thinking about moving from year 4 to year 5 classroom was like, oh my god, that's the biggest move I'm ever going to experience in my life. So I think it does teach you to deal with change, and I think naturally in life that is one of those things.
Yeah.
Like when I first got my first job, it was horrible. For example, I worked in a restaurant, and there's like these potato slices that are like a flat board essentially, and you run the potato across the top and it slices it.
Yeah.
But you can take it apart to clean the blade. And the chef took it apart and just threw it in the sink. Like, and the sink was all soapy. So I just put my hand in, and I was the dishwasher boy.
Yeah. Pot washer.
And I put my hand in and just like sliced my hand open. And it's like,
that's something you do though.
But like I wasn't supposed to know. He didn't tell me. He was a dick. And like changing into like adult life. Like I was quite young, so it's not really adult life. But experiencing work and knowing that people probably don't give a shit about you.
Yeah. That's something you've got to realise quite early on.
Yeah.
The earlier on you realise it, the better you'll be.
Yeah.
People just don't give a shit.
But if you give a shit about yourself, I think people start to care a little bit more. They don't like care that much.
That's the first thing you've got to do. You've got to realise people don't give a shit about you, and then be able to like kind of be satisfied with yourself, because people are like, oh, you've got to learn to love yourself. Like I don't think I'll ever love myself, because I can always look at myself and look at a period of time and think, yeah, I was a proper dick then.
Yeah.
Like 7 or 8 months ago, I can look at myself and think I was a dick.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't have liked myself. But then you can sort of like show yourself how you can be better, or just like naturally change. I haven't tried to change, but I've changed so much because of how much I've learned.
Yeah.
And I think once you can be satisfied with yourself, then people will be able to kind of care for you. Because if you're not satisfied with yourself, trying to care for someone that isn't satisfied with themselves is the most difficult thing ever.
This is what is so bad about social media, because if you put a photo up,
so bad. I know exactly what you're saying. If you put a photo
up, 60 people like it, for example. What of those 60 people, say if you're in school, are going to come up to you in real life and go, "I really liked your photo"?
Yeah.
Are they fuck? They don't care about it at all. It's just that, and that's like people giving a shit about themselves, because if they like that photo, it happens with girls all the time. This pisses me off.
Yeah.
When a girl will comment on a photo, and then their friend will be like, "Oh, that you look beautiful in this," and then the girl will be like, "Oh no, you gorge."
Yeah.
You're gorge, or whatever bullshit like that. Like social media allows people to think, like it gives you an output to think.
False perceptions.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to get to it, but I'm struggling. And so, like, on the new Instagram feed, if you haven't had many likes, or not many of your followers have viewed your photo,
more likes you get, the more seen you get.
No, but if you haven't had many likes, it pushes you to the top of the news feed.
Oh, okay.
For other people. And so, like, you get, if you haven't seen something, you can get, like, on the top of your Instagram feed, like, 4-day-old posts.
Yeah, I get it.
It winds me up so bad. And
because then it looks like if it's a girl and it's like 5-6 days, I always question whether I'm going to like it, because I don't want to put the mess. You know when you go back and like an old picture, because you want to get their attention.
Yeah.
You think, shit, maybe they're going to think that I like it more than I actually like it.
Yeah.
Because there's this kind of thing that we've created as a generation of, like, you can like the photo, and then, like, if you go on someone's Instagram, let's say, and go like an old picture, then you're like, oh, well, you must have been looking at me.
Yeah.
But it's so weird, because you might have just come across it somehow.
Yeah.
Like, I do it all the time, because I click on one thing, and I'm on one person, and then I end up clicking, I'm on like 6 people deep.
Yeah.
That sounds a bit weird, but...
it's like Inception.
And you just
Inception.
start like going back to older pictures, and you find stuff. And it's just another thing that social media has created, but I think our generation has created, because if I told my mum and dad about that concept, they would be like, yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah. But it's something we've created, and it's another thing for people to either worry about or use against you.
Yeah.
Because people love to use social media against people.
Yeah.
As much as it can be a good thing, it can be such a bad thing as well.
Yeah. People don't realise, like, the influence that certain, for example, Vine stars all moved over to Instagram.
Yeah.
And now I'm putting quotation marks up, Instagram comedians. It's such bullshit. It pisses me off so much.
I can't remember his name, but I don't know how I was following him. It was this Instagram comedian who just wrote songs, like, and it was so shit. And I came across one yesterday, and I actually played it, and I listened to it. I was like, why the fuck am I following this person?
Yeah.
Because it's horrendous. Oh, nice bit of background noise.
All right, we're gonna go for a break now, because we're at the 50-minute mark, and my dad's starting to saw the house down upstairs. So we'll be back ASAP. Welcome back. Shock, I say that every time we have a break.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to our second half of the Lucid podcast. There might be three thirds, but I think it'll be 2 halves.
3 thirds.
Three thirds.
You never know.
A 3 thirds.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
Just for the listeners,
ASMR.
you know. You've got to do the other one as well. Okay, we've not got one.
That's awkward.
Sorry to disappoint.
We've got a bit of breaking news. Well, it's not really breaking news.
It kind of is.
It kind of is, but it was broken yesterday.
Oh, so it's not breaking at all. You made me believe it was like minutes ago.
So I've just had a look, because the vote to repeal net neutrality was yesterday in America, and it's been voted 3 votes to 2 to repeal net neutrality, so it is being repealed. This is bad news.
The use of the word repeal is really confusing me.
So repeal means like remove, net neutrality.
Right.
Net neutrality is what we want.
Yeah, because that's the neutrality of the net.
Yeah. We joke about it, but it's seriously fucked. So basically, I said this in the first podcast, but I'm a bit more clued up now because I've done some more research. What will be able to happen now that the laws on net neutrality have been removed is that Comcast, well, this is in America, so Comcast, Verizon, Bell's, all these big major internet providing companies will be able to throttle certain websites, and they will be able to affect the speed of internet on a certain website, so that, for example, if Verizon is a left-wing company, then they will be able to throttle right-wing websites so that you will not be able to, it'll be slow, you will not be able to load their websites. And the same if they're a right-wing company, which
so the left wing, right.
Probably most of them are, because they're big
very
businesses.
Little left wing.
They will be able to throttle left-wing websites. It's going to affect the freedom of information so drastically that...
So is there a cost... Is the cost element involved, or is that is that a misconception?
This is where it gets muddy. The waters get muddy because you'll listen to Ajit Pai, the main FCC chairman that is appealing for this removal of net neutrality, and he will say, there was a free and... He uses the word free and open internet very regularly in when he speaks on news. If you search any videos on him or videos of him speaking on multiple news websites or on actual televised news, he will say, before 2015 we had a free and open internet. But as I believe it, in 2015, it became a common term, net neutrality did. But before that, the laws were still in place that net neutrality
had to be,
but then it became a known thing that it was called net neutrality. This is what I believe, and I'm not sure if I'm butchering it, so don't get on my back. But what they will be able to do, and they will be able to do this, there'll be nothing stopping them from doing this, these telecom companies. They'll be able to now throttle and charge more for certain services, and this happens with net neutrality in place. This happens, like, I'm going to say with Verizon, and actually I'm not going to say any, but an internet company, and I know this to be fact, in 2016 throttled Netflix and made Netflix slower because they had stocks in Hulu, which is another streaming service. And this is with net neutrality in place. So the sleazy motherfuckers are already trying to do it. So then Netflix paid them a fuck ton of money, and instantly Netflix had golden streaming service.
See, the thing is though, it's all corrupt, and it always has been.
The people go, this is the very right-wing view, and I don't like to put my political views out there, but I would say I am more right-wing. Huh?
Why not?
I don't know, I just don't like people... I don't like to tell people who I vote for, but I'm more...
Who do you vote for, Joe?
I'm more right-wing, but the way this is being... People say, what, would you rather the government control it than corporations? But
the government control the corporations.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people don't realise. It's like, especially in this country, because they're all sold off. Like, all the organisations were controlled by the government, and then they were, like, sold off and stuff. So everyone thinks, they're run by business, but they don't understand how much the government is influential in that. Yeah. And if our government goes the same as the Americans have with the net neutrality thing, it'd just be game over. It'd be game over for me.
Yeah.
Because I have an online business.
Yeah, and what they say, people that want to revoke net neutrality, which has been done, It's been done. We're not talking about the future anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're not talking about 2 weeks ago when it was possible. It's been done.
Mm-hmm.
It's happened in America. Now, in America...
We just don't know the extent of the effects.
Yeah. A telecom company, people are saying that ISPs, which are internet service providers,
Mm-hmm.
ISPs, smaller ones, will benefit from this. But so a smaller company are in a certain state and they're providing to 700,000 people in that state, for example. And then, like, Verizon comes in and undercuts them, this smaller company that need a little bit of a larger profit margin because they're smaller and they want to grow. Verizon comes in, undercuts them, and destroys their business, essentially, buys all their servers, buys all their networking, and then ramps the charges up. There's nothing saying they can't do that now because of net neutrality. They're just going to grow and they're able to ramp up their charges. And a lot of right-wing media is getting it wrong in terms of if everyone's paying the same for internet, this is what they kind of get wrong. If everyone's paying the same for internet, then and I use all streaming services, Netflix, YouTube, Amazon, all the others, and then there's an old man who just uses email and occasionally looks for things on the internet. It's not fair. But you can buy like data plans that don't provide as fast internet or don't give you as much internet, like unlimited. For example, you can pay for internet providers that only give you 10 megabytes.
Yep.
Or you can pay for one that gives you 50 or 100 or 200 or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's why they're getting it wrong. And now this has been revoked, ISPs are now able to go, all right, here is, like, you're on Netflix, and then it comes up with the pop-up saying, no, you've got no more, like, data on this.
Credit.
You can't credit.
Yeah.
Pay extra for the Netflix streaming service or the family variety package service. So that will mean that you are now forced to do it, or you don't do it and move to a different company, which in this country it's probably not as much of a problem at the minute because we've got so many competitors.
Yeah, but the thing that I see is the Americans have got their competitors and we've got our competitors. But I wouldn't be surprised, and I don't know this, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're all being controlled by a similar group of people, if not the same company. Because you look at, like, not media companies, not internet companies, but like...
Walmart.
Yeah.
Like Tesco's and Asda's, is it? Oh, Walmart.
Morrison's. I don't know, but they own one of it, like Tesco's and another one.
Yeah.
They control, like, the food market.
Yeah.
And then you've got, like, I never realised Nestle, they own, like,
almost all the cereal.
Yeah, and like chocolate companies and drinks companies, and then like pot noodle. They own pot noodle as well.
Yeah.
And just so much stuff that you never knew.
Yeah. What they say it's to like create like more competition, and it will help the little businesses. I don't mean ISPs anymore. I mean like general businesses.
Mm-hmm.
But what's to say that they just throttle all websites that haven't paid the money? What's to say that they don't do that? So, like with your clothing brand, they can just go, until you pay us some money, we're not putting you at the top of the search, and we're going to make your website slow for everyone. Yeah. And the same with YouTube. And I kind of... The argument for repealing net neutrality, removing net neutrality, is that Google, YouTube, and Facebook all want to keep net neutrality. And the reason they want to do that is because with these laws in place, they are able to get away with some shady shit. But...
Is it them getting away with some shady shit, or some shady shit's taking place on their network?
No, I think it is like Google and like Facebook get away with some shady shit. Like some things that if you knew about it, like,
So
I've
the thing is
stopped
that
using...
Facebook owns so much.
Yeah.
They own Instagram as well.
Yeah, I've stopped using them as much.
I don't use Facebook. Facebook, I think Facebook, like, the stats show Facebook's still growing, but I feel as if it's dying.
Yeah.
Because of what's on there. When I go on there, it's just a bit of a joke.
The reason they are growing is because they're constantly improving their algorithms.
Yeah.
So if you go on Facebook for a minute and scroll past the video and stop on a video, that counts as a view. So it seems like the viewership's going up. You don't even have to click on it as long as you've looked. But whereas, for example, on YouTube, I can look at my analytics now and see how long people have viewed for.
Yeah, but that's Google.
Yeah, through Google. But Facebook
YouTube is Google.
Hasn't quite got there yet. Yeah, I know.
No. I don't think Facebook ever will, because YouTube dominates that sector. There's no other YouTube, is there really?
Well, Facebook creators get paid a fuck ton of money, more than YouTubers do. For, like, the people that are on monetization. If you go on to the H3 podcast and listen to the one with Joey Salads, he speaks about Facebook monetization and how he'll make, I don't know if I'm quoting this right, but 20 grand a video.
That's mad.
20 grand a video, but there's not many people that are monetized, and he kind of knows people in that system. But he says that if people view for 6 seconds, it counts, like, they get monetization from that.
Right, rather than YouTube, which is like view time. It's all an algorithm, isn't it? It's much more complex.
Yeah. The algorithm's fucked on YouTube though at the minute.
Yeah, it's fucked, but it's I see now a lot of people complaining about it, and in some areas I think it is going wrong, but I think it's that complex that...
Well, the algorithm's all AI run.
You now completely chatting shit to me. Well, like computer run.
Yeah, artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
It's run on an algorithm that's constantly learning to flag certain videos to...
But it does it unsuccessfully.
Yeah, a lot of the time, videos...
I swear there was an ISIS video up for like 4 days or something, wasn't there?
Yeah, well, recently there's been an adpocalypse on YouTube where big companies pulled out of YouTube
because of... It was the ISIS scandal, I'm sure.
Yeah, there was a big company's ad on a video that promoted terrorism. And then also the thing with PewDiePie, apparently racist.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's just it.
For
me, that is mainstream media trying to steal
100%.
the limelight off PewDiePie, who is not mainstream, and he's through YouTube, but has so much more power. I would say
YouTubers, a YouTuber with 1 million followers is way more influential than any newspaper.
Oh yeah,
100%. To our generation, I don't read a newspaper.
Never have.
No. And having a YouTuber, to a lot of people who don't necessarily do their own research, tell them what to think, is way more influential than any form of media.
But I think it's the journalists working for these companies, they're just bitter.
They're salty about it.
Because, like we were talking about earlier, they've gone and got a degree.
Yeah.
And then they're looking at these people that have got a camera in their bedroom recording themselves, and they're thinking, they're getting all my money.
Yeah. But...
that's my money that I should be earning.
They do a lot of... there was recently a news article about what's wrong with Post Malone. It's tragic.
He makes some great music.
He's a phenomenal artist.
Yeah.
But this news article essentially says, he's bad for rap because he's culturally appropriating black culture, essentially, and saying that he doesn't call himself a rapper because he doesn't respect it. He calls himself an artist. But listen to Rockstar and tell me if that's a rap song. I dare you to tell me that's a rap song. It's insane, and this person is a white man, obviously, and I'm not black. I'm white, but at least I try and see through like these kind of fake, just salty media outlets that push forward their own political agenda.
Fake news.
People.
The thing is, like, Donald Trump got, like, from my point of view, when he was like, oh yeah, it's all fake news or whatever he was saying, I was like, yeah, shut up. But most of it is fake news.
Yeah.
Especially regarding him. And then when it comes to this country, there's so many media outlets now that it's more about being first than being right.
Yeah.
Because if you're the first media outlet to cover this story, more people are going to see it because you're the first one. So more people are going to believe you because they've seen it first.
Yeah.
It might not be right, it could be bullshit. You might have just written it up.
I would say 80% of the people that see a news article, it's like on Facebook, you see the title or the headline and it's catchy or it's punchy.
Yeah, but then when you read the article, it doesn't relate to its title at all.
No, not at all.
And you get people, especially my age or a bit younger, seeing these stuff on Facebook and they believe it.
Yeah.
And I feel sorry for them.
It's like I unfollowed uni lad in Lad Bible because they just post trash, and then when you read it into the article that they've actually posted, it is often bullshit. Like what they've said is bullshit or it's complete misdirect. And on Snapchat now they've got like the news article ads like BuzzFeed, which
BuzzFeed
is cancerous.
Does my head in.
They are cancerous. They now post news articles and the clickbait. The title is pure clickbait. It's like those ones where it's like.
But clickbait is when I'm on YouTube watching stuff that isn't on my subscribe list. It's all clickbait. Like I subscribe to a certain amount of people who I enjoy their stuff, and even I don't look at the title. It's just I click on their video because I know that it's
personality.
Them. Yeah. But I find myself on like the trending stuff. It's all horrendous.
The trending page is corrupt at the minute.
You pay for it, don't you?
Yeah, well, people are starting to think that. Yeah.
Definitely. And
people that come out against it and have a go at the trending page, often the next day they're on the trending page.
Yeah, because
I think it supposedly shuts them up about it.
But I think that's literally the people who work at Google want, right, well, he said this about a trending page, so let's put him on it to prove him wrong.
Yeah.
True Geordie did a podcast with Alfie Days, and I think it's called Brian, True Geordie. He was like, you pay for it, don't you?
Yeah.
And Alfie got so defensive about it. And the way he got defensive about it, I looked at him and thought, so you do pay for it?
Yeah.
Or you don't necessarily pay for it, but you've got a deal going on with Google that means whenever you upload a video, or it's Zoella, isn't it, or whatever her name is,
yeah,
she's always trending.
Yeah. The whole...
Even when she got shit views.
Yeah.
I thought the whole point of trending was it's the video that's got the most views quickly. And you go on the trending list and you've got people with like 40k with 25k views on.
Yeah.
How are you trending?
And I've seen like videos on the trending list with like 1,000 views on it, and it's from a major like for example
media company.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh.
Or like Jimmy Fallon, who I don't mind that much.
Carpool Karaoke.
Yeah.
It's good and I don't mind it.
It's a bit brain dead.
I like James Corden. I think he's alright. He gets a lot of stick.
Yeah.
And I think he's alright. And the older generations think it's brilliant, this Carpool Karaoke. It's always trending for some reason.
Yeah, somehow.
And the Late Late Show is like one of the most subscribed channels on YouTube.
Platform, yeah.
Why? Because it's shit. Why is anyone subscribing to that?
Yeah, it's because it's on trending.
Exactly. And it's on trending because the company that run that show like paying Google shitloads of money.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Because it's the only way it can happen, because the users on YouTube and the content on YouTube, they will not be looking at that.
Yeah. The whole situation when the Las Vegas shooting happened, Casey Neistat, a big YouTuber who was massive on the platform.
I love Casey.
And he's like always on trending. He put a video out saying that he was going to donate all the ad revenue from the video.
It got ad blocked, didn't it?
Yeah, it got blocked. Because
he mentioned terrorism.
And then
wasn't it?
Jimmy Kimmel.
I can remember watching the video.
Jimmy Kimmel did the same thing. Put a lecture up, a monologue, not lecture. Sorry, saying the same thing as Casey did. Like, it's a tragedy. We need to do as much as we can to help the victims, help the families, to help them through this time, this horrible time. And Jimmy Kimmel's was on trending and not demonetized.
Yeah, demonetized.
In
That
fact,
was the word I was looking for.
Casey's video, I think, was taken down. It wasn't just
I
demonetised.
don't think it was taken down because I can remember him making a video about it.
It's so bad. And you know that
The thing is with
Jimmy
Casey,
Kimmel is
though,
going to be...
I watch Casey and I love his videos because of like just how brilliant how brilliantly put together they are. But I can't help thinking that he was like one of the first big YouTubers. So he's got some sort of relationship with YouTube or Google, which means he's going to be more successful. But then something like that happens, that then I think, well, maybe not.
Yeah.
But I got a question for you. Now this kind of links to the conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Do you know any big YouTubers?
Do I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big YouTubers, million subs.
Yeah.
Who?
PewDiePie.
No, personally. Do you
Oh,
personally?
no.
No, neither do I.
Yeah.
And none of my friends do either.
Yeah.
And I bet none of your friends do either.
No.
Where are they? Maybe it's just because they're not my friends, or I don't know of them, or like they're not from our area. But like, where are these YouTubers?
Well,
Are they even real?
there was a lad at college who, he wasn't on my course, but we saw him round, and he's a fairly big YouTuber, like 500,000 subs.
Right.
So they exist, Ollie.
No, I understand they exist, but it's just like, it could be like the lizard people thing, where there's select YouTubers, and they're like ran by this algorithm, and we watch them because they're the only people there.
Yeah. I think that's a far out. That's a bit far out there.
But I have thought that before. But I think a lot of weird shit. So
I think the way you know that that's not true, or anything
it's
like
probably
that.
not. I'm just playing with people.
Yeah.
Because people are getting wound up listening to this.
The reason that's can't be true is because of issues that they have with the biggest YouTuber on the platform, PewDiePie, where he's not on YouTube Rewind, and he literally the face of YouTube.
I went through a stage of just like pure streaming every video because I was just obsessed with him.
Yeah, I find him hilarious.
I think
his content's way better than it's ever been. He might have said the N-word, but I'm not condoning it at all.
No.
It is a racist slur, and you shouldn't be saying it. But I think that people overlook that they're just people. He's just a person, and like fair enough, you shouldn't be saying it.
But the thing is, it was on a live stream, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And another thing with the mainstream media, they never do much stuff live.
Yeah.
Like a newspaper, it's all edited.
You can guarantee that they've said some shit that.
Yeah, or they'll have wanted to say something, but then you can't say
just
that.
Search news fails on the internet. If you watch one of them, it's like this lady's like, oh, and a guy recently climbed Mount Everest, and guess what? He's gay. I mean, blind. He's blind. It's so funny. She completely flubs it up, and obviously that was live news, and you know that they say stuff like that, but because they've got a team of editors behind them, and obviously PewDiePie does as well. He's got a bigger outlet than any of them. He probably pulls in more views a month than any news outlet.
Oh yeah, because he bangs out like 2 million plus views on every video.
Yeah, and it's just like
no effort though.
Yeah.
Like it can literally be anything. That's how much power he's got. And I saw him doing a reacting video to like fake merch that people have made about him, and he's just like laughing at it because it don't matter that they're making that because of the influence he's had.
Yeah,
he's made so much money.
Yeah, I don't even think it's about money. Like you say, it's influence.
No, yeah.
I think
the power that he's got.
Yeah, he could like, and when all that stuff about the Nazi stuff came out.
Yeah.
Which was complete
and utter
fabrication.
Shoot him down. Yeah.
It was fabrication.
Because everyone's jealous.
And
everyone wants to be him. I'd love to have 54 million. He's probably more now.
Yeah.
Probably nearly 60.
It's almost 60, yeah.
But it's like the thing, because he's in Britain, isn't he? He has that much influence where if you want to get something discussed by the government, I think it's like 500,000 signatures or whatever.
Yeah.
You can do it online.
Yeah.
60 million subscribers he's got.
Yeah.
It'd be easy to
get a million.
Yeah, he could get something stupid like as a video.
Yeah,
like get him to discuss him or something just for the banter.
Yeah, it's so overlooked. the amount of influence that new age media has, and I call it new age, and it's not even media, but like it's a common term, and I don't like the term media anymore because it's got negative connotations to just people being shot down for freedom of speech, freedom of speech and stuff, and all the Nazi stuff that happened, it just shows how pathetic the media outlet are, and then
they were like clinging on for something to shoot them down for,
and also like celebrities were so like quick, like J.K. Rowling was so quick to say, how all your kids are subscribed to Pewdiepie. I'm literally paraphrasing. I'm not.
Yeah, I can remember she tweeted about that, didn't she?
And it's like in the video that they showed of him making a joke about Nazis, they took the video out of context of him saying it's out of context. Like a joke, you need to have context for jokes. It's like where he tries to help the cause by explaining himself.
But is he not a comedian?
Yeah, I'd say
exactly. That's my point.
Yeah, and a comedian can say whatever the fuck they want.
Like I watch some Jimmy Carr videos on YouTube, and I tell you what, they are a lot more offensive than the PewDiePie video.
Yeah, but he doesn't get stick for it.
No, because that's his job.
Boyle,
that's his job.
But PewDiePie's video.
Exactly, that is PewDiePie's job. But the people that are running these like media companies, like the newspapers and the parents, being a YouTuber is not a job.
Yeah.
You're mad.
Yeah.
I think even if you're a parent of a YouTuber and they're making lots of money, I think it's still hard for them to conceive that it's a job.
Yeah. Yeah. It is strange. It's a strange job because you haven't...
I don't think it's a strange job. I think it's the same job as what it used to be, just in a different platform.
Yeah.
It's an entertainer.
Yeah.
It's like being on TV, but TV's dying, and this is our new platform.
Yeah.
That we've created.
But I think in the next few years, if YouTube doesn't sort the shit out in terms of the algorithm,
I think I've definitely thought about it, and I've kind of, when I was on a holiday, I tried to put a few plans together to set up a network like YouTube, but I think it cost the guys that set up YouTube, it cost like 11 million quid.
Yeah.
I haven't got 11 million quid, unfortunately.
Spare.
But then they sold it for 3.5 billion to Google.
Yeah.
Which is their profit.
Yeah. It's all profit. It's just something that we're going to have to deal with and see what happens. But I
think if someone comes along, that's definitely a gap there's a gap in the market for a platform like YouTube that's not YouTube.
That's
no, that is YouTube that the YouTube was 5 years ago.
Yeah. I listened to a podcast by Funhouse, and they're a great channel. They're a comedic channel, and obviously in there they do make offensive jokes sometimes.
Yeah.
But they're all in jest, and they were saying that they, like, you know, this elsgate stuff that's happened.
Not really. You're going to have to inform me.
elsgate is essentially these botting farms that create cartoon videos for kids to watch on YouTube Kids that are crude and disturbing. And then if you're looking down in the comments, then it's clearly essentially catfish and like a grooming thing to groom kids.
I have heard about it because was there not an app that was going around for kids?
YouTube Kids.
No, it was like a game.
Oh, right. But
it was a game where the kid would talk to like a teddy bear or something, but it was basically grooming them. Yeah. Which is vile.
Yeah, it's disgusting. They talk about on it that before this all happened, they had a video that was, they do some funny stuff, and they have a series called Demo Disc, where they play demos, and then in between the demos loading on the computer, they play flash games and stuff like that.
Right.
And they played an Elsa flash game, and it's really funny. They're playing an Elsa flash game for kids, and Elsa's pregnant, whatever, and they named it Pregnant Elsa in the title, and it had 2 million views. And then when this elsgate thing happened, it got demonetized.
Right.
And they then sent a manual review to YouTube saying, like, this isn't what you think it is, because they obviously knew that elsgate thing was going on, where all these videos were getting taken down, and the reviewer, who they say it's a manual review and you assume it's a person, but it's probably just another algorithm, declined the review, like declined the request to get it remonetized. And they were saying that it'd be good to have a YouTube adults section.
Yeah.
Where,
well, you have age restrictions, don't you?
Yeah, but
all you have to do is create an account.
Yeah,
and I don't think you have to put your age in. You
don't have to put your actual age in. You can just fake it.
Right.
Yeah, and
it's like Facebook, isn't it?
Yeah. Like
no one's well, unless you're old enough.
Yeah.
I think it's 13.
Out.
You've got to be.
Mm.
And there's loads of non-13-year-olds.
Yeah, like my age on it's like 25.
Mine's 17 because I'm honest.
They were saying that it'd be good to have an adult YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like put porn on it or anything like that.
But that's what it'd be perceived as.
Yeah, but I'm saying like content that you know is not suitable for children.
Mm-hmm.
They probably shouldn't be watching it, but it's mainly comedic value to keep the service running, and having a platform in which you can't say what you want. You still got regulations, but the regulations are more like loose.
I love how people use that. Yeah, I've got freedom of speech. Yeah, but the right of freedom of speech is taken away as soon as you offend someone.
Yeah.
Because that's not freedom of speech.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to offend someone in your freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Because that goes against what freedom of speech is about.
Yeah.
And if you like discriminate against someone or you offend someone, that takes away the freedom of speech.
But then also, at the minute, people are like popping up saying they've been offended in the past and then revoking people's freedom of speech, but then also saying at the same time they're fighting for freedom of speech. It's like a lot of people at the minute, and this is going to get a little bit politically driven, are saying like, oh, well, I'm oppressed.
Yeah.
When really, the only... I don't want to go too deep into it.
Do it, Joe. Do it for the
only
views.
real civil rights movement that has happened has been for black people. Because you can't understand that oppression, I don't think.
No.
You can't comprehend that oppression. No. And people say...
But it's still going on, do you not think?
I don't know, because I'm not...
Yeah, I know, but don't you think that you've come across people that have said or acted in a certain way against those people because of their ethnic background?
Yeah. Not...
Because I've experienced it.
Yeah.
And I've looked at that person and it changed your opinion of that person. Because a lot of people, especially our age, joke about it.
I think joking is... I don't think you should be able to censor someone for joking about something.
No, but it then becomes, what point do you draw the line on where they were joking?
This is in, iDubbbz. Yeah. He did a content cop on someone called Tanner Mongeau. I don't know if you've watched it.
I love his content cops, but I haven't seen that one, no.
It's probably one of the best ones. He...
Makes me look a bit stupid now.
He... Essentially... Tanner Mongeau is this 18-year-old white girl.
Oh, right.
Who she says that she fights for the civil rights and all this.
White girl, blonde hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
And
of course.
Yeah, and she rips into iDubbbz at one point on a live stream saying that he should break both his legs and lose all his subscribers for saying the N-word. But she says he calls his fans the N-word faggots.
Yeah.
Is faggot not an offensive term?
Yeah. Now? Completely dismisses the word.
And he says, it's a really interesting point, should everything be okay or should none of it be okay?
Yeah,
so we hold N-word the N-word in such a high regard.
The thing that confuses me so much is the C word's a bad word.
Yeah.
But the N-word, it seems to be like another level.
Well, I think...
However, people of that background use it so freely.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then, I think sometimes it can lead people into a false sense of security on whether they can use that word, because they might have been watching some content. I think, like, KSI is an example. I don't like KSI at the moment, like, anymore, because I think he's turned into a dick.
Yeah.
He says it all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I've watched the video and he's not said it.
Yeah.
So he's kind of, the people that are viewing his videos...
Kids.
Yeah. He's influencing them and creating this word, which they will not know the true meaning of. And they're going to think, well, he's saying it all the time.
Yeah.
So surely it's okay.
So it's funny that, because KSI, he's obviously black.
Uh-huh.
And he does say that in, you're saying every video, but you can't.
No,
confirm
maybe not.
that. Yeah,
but in a lot of his videos.
A majority of his videos, he says that word. And he's on YouTube Rewind, right?
Yeah.
He's a main part in it. And yet PewDiePie says it once.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, KSI at some point has said it in terms of offending someone. To offend someone in a video.
But he thinks because he's black, he can't offend them.
Yeah. And PewDiePie says it at one point.
This is such a sketchy topic.
Yeah, it's very... I'm trying to, like...
Yeah.
Tiptoe along it. PewDiePie says it once as a form of... It was to offend someone. It was a direct offence at someone. But he says it once. And yet, maybe he says it behind the scenes with his friends or when the camera's rolling and then they edit it out. But KSI leaves that in. And gets away with it.
Yeah.
And
but it's become... I don't want to take the meaning away from the word, because I know it's such a... You don't want to, like, forget the word because it has so much meaning behind it.
Yeah.
And it shows the progression that we've made as a world. But the way it's been used in recent years has changed its meaning.
Yeah. I think that's the same with... Like, with me, I used to hate the word cunt.
I can't believe you just said that.
But I say it all the time now. And my friend groups say it all the time. So it's now got essentially no meaning to me.
If you don't like swearing, I don't have a problem with you. But I just think it's such a narrow-minded way to approach words.
I can say...
Sometimes there's a situation where swearing is not, like, appropriate.
Yeah.
But then sometimes I might say shit. And then people are like... None of my friends, because that's just a standard word.
Yeah.
But some people are offended by it.
Yeah.
Like, how are you offended by that? I could have said a whole range of other words which I would have been comfortable saying.
Yeah. Which
you could have got a lot more offended at. And I don't understand how a word, which is just a form of letters...
can hold such high regard.
Exactly. Surely if you want to offend someone, or you want to say something offensive, you've got to explain something. Or you've got to form a sentence.
Yeah. I think if you've ever been in an argument, the most soul-crushing thing is when you argue someone that is able to form their, like, sentences and...
If I call you a fucking twat, it doesn't really offend you, does it?
But if...
It's more of a joke.
Yeah.
But if I...
Attack me personally...
Yeah, your haircut's shit, Joe.
Yeah. It's like, oh, that's sorry.
I don't mean that, but I was just thinking of something to say.
Yeah. And I think that's why people when iDubbbz does a content cop...
Because he's so clever about it.
Yeah, and he forms very, like, objective opinions and forces a viewer to believe in that way about them. Like, before iDubbbz content cop on Rice Gum, I didn't really know him. I didn't think he was that... Like, I didn't know him, so I didn't really have an opinion.
He's a bit of a dick.
He's a bit of a dick.
But then I realised how much of a dick he was.
Exactly. And that sticks more in people's mind than someone saying... You're a N-word.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
That's offensive.
But is it offensive for the right reasons? It's offensive because of the history behind the word.
Yeah.
This is...
But if PewDiePie was to have said the N-word, and then you compare that to him doing like a content cop like iDubbbz does, I would say the content cop would be more offensive. Because I'm pretty sure iDubbbz has like destroyed some careers just through like a content cop.
Yeah. He's affected them greatly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's difficult because...
See, I don't know who's watched that PewDiePie video and got offended, because the people that will have written the like the mainstream media people that will have written the article
just watch that bit.
Yeah, and they will have just watched that bit, and I'm not certain they will have been offended by it.
No.
And if they were offended by it, they shouldn't have been, because they might not have been from that ethnic group.
Yeah.
And if they were, then fair enough, you've got all the right to write that article.
Yeah.
But why are people being offended by something that's not from their background?
This is like the topic of... In America, they were removing statues of slave owners in towns, right? And I can understand that it must be horrible to know that your heritage has come, and like your great grandparents were slaves, and your heritage is from that. But I don't think wiping out history and ignoring it is the way to go. I think keeping your history and then seeing it. So if I'm walking through the park with my kid and I see a statue of a slave owner and he goes, "Who's that, Dad?" Then I can go, "It's this person, and here's why they're bad. We don't want to repeat them." And through history, we learn.
We do it with Hitler.
Yeah.
We remember Hitler.
Yeah.
We're taught about Hitler, and we're taught that he was bad.
The reason they haven't destroyed Auschwitz is because it allows a learning experience.
But do you not think in this country we look back at like slavery and stuff like that? Because I know I have in school and stuff like that. But it is definitely, I think a lot of people, they're not bothered about offending Hitler because of his background.
Yeah.
But they don't want to necessarily look at the history between white and black people because they're scared of offending someone. But I don't know. It's so confusing and it's so complex.
Yeah.
It's a lot more complex than one person saying this one word and someone getting offended. Because one person from the same ethnic background might be offended and might not be offended.
Yeah.
So it's
I would say
crazy.
I can't talk for people like...
No, because you don't know how they feel, do you? Because sometimes people say something and it's completely opposite to actually how they feel.
It's like when KSI and Joe Weller are doing this boxing thing.
Yeah.
When KSI brought up depression to Joe Weller, he got irate.
I got offended by that.
Yeah, but other people won't necessarily see that as an offence because they don't know.
They haven't felt that feeling.
Yeah, exactly. So we haven't felt oppression in that way. So
I wasn't really bothered about that whole thing, as like, because I like Joe Weller and I think he's funny.
Yeah.
And I'm not that fussed, but he's not like completely like, I don't look up to him and he's not one of my favourite YouTubers. I think he's funny and I'll watch the odd video.
Yeah.
I don't really care about KSI, so I wasn't that interested. But soon as KSI said that thing to Joe, I then instantly got interested.
Yeah.
Because KSI put a video out kind of apologising, but he didn't actually apologise for it. So that means I think he believes what he said. And
he's done the same thing in one of his songs. And the excuse that I could maybe get on terms with was he is trying to offend Joe in that moment.
Yeah.
In that moment. That's what he said in his video. And it was live, so it was heat of the moment. But he's made music videos where you write lyrics.
Yeah, and you think about those lyrics.
Saying the same thing about someone else. How about they're not going to be a good dad because they're always on pills or something like that. To do with antidepressants.
Oh, it was, I forget his name now. It was the Minecraft guy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think, in the heat of the moment, when PewDiePie said that, the heat of the moment is the only excuse he has. The only excuse. Because there isn't.
Yeah, because I don't think he can come out and say what we've just said about the word maybe not meaning what it used to mean.
Yeah.
Because then all the people that feel offended by it are going to come and say, well, you offended me. And that just doesn't work for him.
Yeah. I think a lot of people disagree with.
It's all personal opinion, isn't
Yeah.
it? Because he said it, and I could have been I wasn't watching it, but he could have said it while I was watching, and I wouldn't have batted an eyelid at it. I would have just carried on watching.
Yeah.
And I would have thought most of his viewers would.
Yeah.
But I don't know that. Like, 1 million might have watched it and thought.
And then 2 of them could have been.
They could have been really offended by it, or
the other way around.
Yeah. But you don't know, do you?
I think in the society that we're in at the minute, everyone tries to be offended by something. It's an outrage culture.
Because of social media.
Yeah. And it allows everyone to have a voice.
Yes, it allows everyone to have a voice, but not necessarily everyone's voice is going to be heard.
Yeah.
And it's this, the YouTube drama stuff. It created people creating beef, in quotations, because it's a tragic word.
Fake beef as well.
Yeah, just to get views or get attention.
Yeah.
Because they want to become relevant.
It's like prank channels were a massive thing for a while. The reason a lot of them did it was to be outrageous. And some of the I'm saying, and you can quote me on this whenever you like, 99.5% of prank videos on YouTube are fake.
Yeah.
But people, I've even done it, watched one and gone, oh, bloody hell, that's like really bad. But then actually rewatched it a year later and been like, that's fake as fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
And
in the moment it seems good.
Yeah. We just don't know. In these times, anything can offend anyone. And people love to be offended.
But it's not even being offended. It's in these times, people can say they were offended when they weren't even offended.
Yeah.
I think, the EDL, this is another sketchy topic, and some of the, I think is it Tommy Robinson or something like that?
I don't know, I don't follow.
He's a twat.
Yeah.
I know it's Tommy Robinson.
Alright.
I think he's a twat. Loads of people follow him and support him. But I feel as if I've watched a lot of his stuff and he's anti-Islamic. And I feel as if when he first said it, he believed it. And that was 6 years ago, maybe even more. But he's still saying it. And I feel as if he's still saying it, not necessarily because he believes it. He might believe it, but he's saying it because it keeps getting him attention.
This is a big thing in politics where politicians, like on the first podcast that you were on, we spoke about Donald Trump saying that he was going to build a wall. And maybe at first it was a bit of a joke between board members on his
maybe he believed it.
Yeah, but then when he's about to become president, he's like, build the wall.
Yeah.
Does he actually think that he's ever going to be able to do that? I don't think so. And it's the same. People are going to hate me because I guarantee most of the people listening to this are supporters of him. Jeremy Corbyn saying that he's going to pay for university funds, education, and make education at university level free. How?
Right, okay. I'm going to argue this point.
Alright.
Donald Trump said he was going to build a wall, and at no point did he say how he was going to do it.
I'm not going to compare them. They're not comparisons.
Okay.
Yeah.
But when Jeremy Corbyn said he was going to pay for the education and cut uni fees, he did have a way. Now, I can't remember the exact name, but it was a taxation which would be different to the way we tax goods now. And it would mean whenever you bought anything, it would be slightly more expensive than it is now. But it would mean that corporations like Amazon, Starbucks, and there's another big corporation would not be able to miss out on paying tax. If if Starbucks and Amazon had paid the tax they'd missed out on last year, I think, the government could have afforded to send everyone to university for free.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But what's the likelihood that that's going to happen?
Well, it's not going to happen if you don't give them a chance.
Yeah, but I think a lot of the things that he was saying, like Donald Trump, kind of comparing them, were just to further their political agenda when they couldn't necessarily provide the things that they were promising. What's the likelihood that in his 4 years as Prime Minister, it's 4 in this country, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
Yeah.
I should know because I'm really interested in it.
Yeah, in his 4 years, what's the likelihood that he would have been able to make uni fees not a thing?
For me, it's not that. It's the fact that he's going to try.
Yeah.
Like with Obama, we're relating president to prime minister, and it's completely different.
Yeah.
But with Obama, and because I'm not American, I don't think I understand completely. But he tried to do Obamacare, and he did a version of it, and it wasn't what he wanted, but it was there, and it was slightly better than.
Yeah. Well, they had healthcare insurance before. They had healthcare before Obama came in, and then they called it Obamacare, and everyone was like, "Fuck this!" But they've done studies where they asked people, "Oh, are you for government-supported or state-supported healthcare?" And people are like, "Yeah." So what about Obamacare? And they're like, "No, fuck that, Obama, fuck that." But people are it's like the net neutrality thing. They've made it into this right-wing, left-wing thing, and I would say I'm middling to right-wing, right? But. And then I listen to a right-wing or a left-wing podcast or something, and I'll agree with the left-wing terms, but because a lot of people will be like, I don't want to agree with leftist, so I'm gonna.
It's all about opposing the opposition.
Yeah,
you don't want to meet in the middle. You want to just oppose them.
Yeah,
but I think that's the issue with our country.
Yeah,
is we have Labour and Conservative, and I know we have all the other parties.
Yeah, there is more options, but
there's a lot more options, but I think they're a bit irrelevant.
Yeah,
some of them.
Yeah,
and the manifesto for the Labour Party, in my eyes, was a lot better.
It was brilliant. Because it promised so many things.
Yeah, and the Conservative was average.
Weak.
Yeah. But what frightened me most about Conservative was Theresa May.
Yeah, I don't trust Theresa May as far as I can throw her. But then
I don't trust Jeremy Corbyn.
No, me neither.
But I don't trust any random guy that I meet in the street.
Yeah.
But
I would trust. This is going to sound so stupid, but I would trust a YouTuber I've been watching more than I trust either of those two.
Yeah, and that's what I like about Jeremy Corbyn. He was trying to communicate. He was trying to communicate with our generation because of the uni stuff.
But that's who knew could get them votes.
Yes, but he was also through grime. He was. He was just licking arses with grime artists.
Yeah.
So he could communicate with us, and through YouTube.
Yeah.
And Theresa May for me, people are like, yeah, you can't trust Jeremy Corbyn. Why should I trust Theresa May when she clearly does not give a shit?
Mm.
Or she might give a shit, but her perception, and perception is everything, shows me she doesn't care.
That's why.
And maybe not. Maybe she does care, but she's just not up to it. Not up to it.
Obama. We're not in America, so I don't know. I haven't got any driven views on him or anything like that. But him as a president was such intellectually, the way
him as a leader was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the way he showed himself as a person and carried himself was almost impeccable. The way he spoke publicly, he never spoke out of line. He wasn't irrational. I think
a massive issue is he fought for equality and things being fair. And I think not necessarily Jeremy Corbyn, but maybe Jeremy Corbyn, he wanted that. And I'm not saying Theresa May didn't, but she wanted further away from that. And that's not the way the world works. The world's not fair, and the world's not equal. So I don't think we'll ever have a leader that suits everyone, and I don't think we'll ever have a leader that makes it great for everyone. But I think we have to have people in charge that get us closest to that.
Well, people say, I'm going to butcher so much on this podcast about like politics and stuff. This is literally go back and watch the first ever episode, the intro episode. We are uninformed.
Yeah.
And it's views that we have. So don't take anything I say for like
tweet me.
Fact. Yeah, don't at me.
No, you can. You can do. Do you not have Twitter?
No.
Tweet me if you want.
But I forgot what I was saying. I think people say that communism hasn't been done right.
Mm.
What the Russians are doing.
Koreans. As well as the Koreans. I didn't mean like
and
not
Chinese.
Russians. Yeah. The North Koreans.
But
not.
It's been done, right?
Messed that up big stuff.
Communism has been done, and the idea of communism is everyone earns the same, but then there's no incentive, and people need incentive to progress in the world, and it's a very, I hate using left wing and right wing terms, but it's a very left wing view to have communism where everyone is on the same level and you work for the greater good and the betterment of society as a whole. But not having progression, not having this so-called, in quotes, monopoly system where someone can win the whole board would affect us more.
I agree. But don't you think that communism is extremist left-wing?
Yeah. Yeah, but...
Rather than just left-wing.
Yeah, and...
Because for me, left-wing is... I could get this completely wrong, but for me, left wing is everything is equal for everyone, so you get what you put out for. Yeah, as hard as you work or whatever job you get should be equal, and what you pay out for in terms of taxes in this country, you get as equal, and you do in this country. However, you have people earning significantly more money than a lot of people who are paying out significantly less than a lot of people. And getting the same thing.
Yeah. I think the system, no matter which way we push a system, there's always going to be failures.
There's gonna be an issue because everyone cares about them more than they care about anyone else. I care about me more than I care about most other people.
Yeah.
But what I've taught myself is that sometimes you have to look out for other people before you can look out for yourself to get the best whole result.
Yeah.
Rather than the best result for you. Because I could do a lot of things in my life, and I'm sure you could do a lot of things in your life that benefit you, but then when you look back at them, you think, yeah, it's benefited me, but I fucked that person up.
Mm-hmm. But
it's not that simple. We're simplifying things which are completely...
very complex. Yeah. In terms of like pushing forward for the betterment of society, I think having big corporations that will sometimes pull the little guy up and help other things, and for example, if I went to university and I studied for, I don't know how many years it is, 8 years to become a doctor, and I was finally a doctor, and we were in a communist society, and I was earning the same as someone that works in the fish and chip shop.
Yeah, I understand that.
You'd be fucking... you wouldn't want to. Why would you want to study?
No.
You wouldn't... There's no point at that point. There's no point to get, like... We need, as a people, need competition.
That's why you get people from those countries who have studied, not necessarily like communist countries, but other countries coming over here, because it's a much more rewarding system.
Yeah.
And then you get people who are racist and say, I'm not going to doctors because they're all fucking
Chinese.
Yeah. Well, I don't give a shit about you because you're a bad person.
Yeah.
Like, there's still people now, like, and I think who are growing up my age, and I think it might be their parents that, like, put the ideas into them that, like, immigrants are a bad thing, and that confuses me so bad.
My 2 cents on the immigration in general is that if you are moving to a country, you need to provide something to the society you're moving into.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand that war-torn countries or refugees from those countries, they need somewhere supportive to live in this country or in another country, in one that's better than them, and but then people that are coming to this country, this is gonna get so fucked. People that are sponging off a system that they're not putting anything into. I think this is a fair thing to say. If you're sponging off something and not putting anything into it,
definitely agree. Yeah.
It's unfair for the people that are working hard.
I don't think you should be able to come to this country. I think anyone should be able to come to this country, but I don't think you should be able to come to this country and then instantly claim benefits.
Yeah. I don't think you should be able to come to this country and not do anything. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I think you should...
But then that's not my issue.
No.
I'm fine with that. My issue is the people that say, I hate immigrants because they steal all our jobs. No, they don't. They just take the jobs that you can't be asked to go get.
Yeah.
Or that you're not able to go get because you haven't put enough effort in.
Well, obviously, the NHS is in shit at the minute. How much shit they're in shit. We don't know how much shit they're in.
I don't think anyone really knows how much shit they're in.
No. Well, no one knows how much shit anything's in. But having immigrants, obviously, like we said, Middle Eastern countries, having doctors come over, it's like, why would you want to stop that? These people are coming here to help people.
I've heard people say, I can't even tell what the doctor's saying, which is a complete lie. And if you can't understand what that doctor's saying because they're from a different country, or maybe not even because they're from a different country, because they've got a different skin colour, you think they can't speak our language. I just think you're a vile person.
They've worked a lot harder than you to get to that position, and they've probably gone through a lot more than you have to get to where they are. So, I'm saying, people that provide to society...
Yeah, it's like America. You can't move to America unless you're going to get a job.
Or in Australia.
Yeah.
And you can't go to Australia if you've got even a sense of a criminal record, like anything.
I think that may be a bit strict, because in this country you can gain a criminal record, not accidentally, but as a different person to the person you will be.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, but I could probably think of someone that's got a criminal record that I know that isn't worthy of having a criminal record.
Yeah.
But then that's defining what's a criminal.
Yeah. I think this country is so good because of variety.
Diversity.
Diversity.
Like that,
So, and variety is literally, bad pun, but the spice of life. Through food and stuff. In general, having variation. I could go down the road and buy Chinese.
Or an Indian, yeah.
Or an Indian.
I love an Indian.
Can't
be an Indian.
But...
that was almost something really inappropriate then.
In what other countries, there's not many countries in the world, that can do that.
No.
Well, there are, but in every village you have a Chinese.
Oh yeah, definitely. They dominate our food industry, and I think that
it's
also relates to a bit of self-analysis for the country, that we are lazy.
Yeah.
As a nation, I think we're quite a lazy nation.
Yeah.
These people have come over, or just eat their food.
Yeah.
And these people come over and apply for our jobs and get our jobs fairly, and then we're not going to try and get that job by being better than them. We're just going to complain.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've stolen our jobs.
The thing is, I'm not having a go at people that have immigrated to this country. Just, if you are born in this country and you do not fucking make an effort, you're just as bad as an immigrant that's come over to this country and done the same thing. Because you've been given all the chances, you've gone through a very tried and tested, it might not be suited to most people, education system.
Yeah.
You've had the opportunities. These people have come from countries that are not as well off, are not very, £10 to someone over there is so much money that we can't even understand that. And if you are complaining about them coming over to this country trying to betterment themselves, like do better for their family, you are just as bad if you're sat on your ass doing nothing as they are. And they're not, and that's not saying they're bad at all.
I think this is also quite interesting because usually the people that are saying it's racist comments and like discriminative comments, they're also the same sort of people that have the same sort of views on like the North Korea issue.
Mm.
I don't know if you've noticed this, but I've discussed it with a few people because I'm very interested about it. And they say, oh yeah, don't worry about it because if anything happens, America will just blow them all up.
Mm.
Not caring for, I don't know how many people live in North Korea, but not caring for all those lives.
Yeah.
Because we're tarring those people with the same brush because of one person.
Yeah.
Or maybe a few people.
Have you seen the video where it's Kim Jong-il, I think it was Kim Jong-un's dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, dies. And you see the army are forcing people to breathe.
If you don't cry, you get killed.
Or at least jail time.
Yeah.
And there's so many screams and cries, but there's not one wet eye in that crowd. No one is crying for him.
No.
They're just doing it for that reason. And
there was a case, I think it was a few weeks ago, where someone successfully escaped.
Yeah.
But I think 6 people a day in North Korea try to escape unsuccessfully. And if you get caught trying to escape North Korea, that's pretty much, I think you either get tortured or you get killed.
It's not confirmed, but...
No, that's not confirmed, but that's like what I've come across. And we have no sort of remorse for that country because of Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
Because he's a knob, they must all be knobs.
Well, it's like the trouble with Donald Trump. You might be right-wing, you might love him, but a lot of the world are going to see him as a fucking idiot.
But don't you think the way we see North Korea, or the way some people see North Korea, other countries are going to see us and America?
Yeah.
Not necessarily us, but America for sure.
Yes. 100%. I was getting onto that.
Yeah.
Like, it's... people see... Like, you can't imagine the way someone judges someone, but if that person is saying the sort of stuff that Donald Trump is saying, then... But, then again, he's a bit of a dick.
Massive dick.
But, would you rather him be slightly open, about most of the stuff, or would you rather crooked Hillary be in and be completely closed off and have sort of a public demeanour and then a private demeanour, which we know she has because she's deleted millions or thousands of emails and different email accounts, and it's been confirmed by the CIA and the FBI that these emails existed and they were asked to send them in and she didn't.
But is the CIA reliable? Can we say that?
But are they reliable?
Exactly.
I mean, like,
the thing is,
person they're searching reliable?
I think if you have a person which is hiding a lot of stuff because they appear to be like what Hillary appeared to be, she wanted to appear to be like a clean person.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, but she was hiding a lot of stuff. What is the person that is openly shit hiding?
Yeah.
Because he could be hiding a lot more.
Well...
Or he might not be hiding anything. But we don't know. So it's all for us to think about.
It's difficult because Joe Rogan makes a good point where he says the button to control the nukes is based on a popularity contest. It's insane.
It's a joke, yeah.
And the most popular person won this year, and someone that knows how to be popular won this year, or last year. This year? No, it's last year. Fucking hell.
Jesus.
2016.
A lot of people say to me as well, yeah, but he's a great businessman.
He's better than a lot of people.
No, shit.
Well, he's better than a lot of people. He's a billionaire.
Shit, Joe. He's shit.
He's a billionaire.
Yeah, but is he a billionaire? Has he made billions? No, he's inherited billions.
Yeah.
So, he's lucky. He's lost a lot of money.
He's a good personality.
Now...
He's not got a good personality, but he's a good personality. Do you know what I mean? Do you know the difference between what?
I know what you mean, but I don't necessarily agree.
No, he's obviously a good personality.
He is a personality. I wouldn't say he's a good personality.
No, I don't mean good as in the connotation of, like, I don't know how to explain this. Good, I mean as in he's obviously a personality that people follow.
Yeah.
Because he obviously is.
Wrongly. Yeah. I don't know how you can run an election and something, well, I suppose you could say this for both of them. Well, so the email thing came out for Hillary. And I seem to think that hindered her election campaign massively. However, the stuff that Donald Trump had said on a bus about a woman came out, and it didn't seem to bother many people.
The thing is...
Apart from the people that weren't voting for him, the people that were already voting for him seemed to just bypass it.
It's like at the minute there's... I'm going to fuck this up so bad. There's a Conservative, a Republican and a Liberal vote for two politicians in a certain area in America, and I'm going to fuck this up so bad. But one of them, the right-wing one, has got a lot of votes... No, a lot of accusations of sexual misconduct in the workplace and stuff along those lines. And yet, he's still higher in the polling.
Right.
But is that a backlash from the FU to the government from the 2016 election in America? Because everyone was like, fuck you, big government, we want someone in that represents the people, when he doesn't really.
No, he doesn't.
But he represents the people more than a career politician like Hillary Clinton. I would say he does. Represents the majority of America, which he clearly does because he got the majority vote.
Mm. Or did the Russians just hack it?
Yeah. But then...
that's what I was trying to tell you in the car. You know the CIA agent that did the podcast with Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
He was saying that people were telling him that the Russians weren't involved. And he said to them, well, he was saying the Russians have been involved since there was elections.
Yeah.
And there always will be.
Yeah.
But we can just never... They're getting away with it because we can never understand how involved they are.
Yeah.
And that, for me, is incredibly scary.
But...
Don't you think, though, since Trump's been elected, the stuff with Putin seems to have died down? Because it used to be all, like, on my newsfeed, it used to be about President Putin and about Russia. But now it's all just about Donald Trump and the North Korean issue.
Yeah.
And he doesn't seem to be piping up. But then again, I think he's doing a lot of stuff in Syria, which is pretty shady.
Mm.
But that's another really sketchy subject.
The whole politics...
Because I think if you want to talk about that, you've got to be really informed.
When you've got such a big superpower like America, politics are going to be a problem.
Mm.
Because...
There's no fair way to do it, is there?
And I think Donald Trump was searching for the presidency, title. He was searching for a title just as much as he wanted to be president.
Yeah,
I don't think he necessarily did.
I think he wants it for his ego.
Yeah. He's an ego-driven person, clearly. I think he wanted
I think that's because he's self-conscious.
Yeah.
Because he's...
Got little hands. All that bullshit. Yeah, it's... The whole situation with all politics, I just think is shady.
Mm.
But then, I think that is why he was voted in, even though he's a shady person himself. I think people wanted to fuck...
I just think it was kind of a plot twist, and people like the idea of that being different.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe now they don't like it, but at that time they thought it was attractive because of how different it was to it's ever been.
Yeah. It's like the grass is green on the other side situation.
Yeah.
Once you go over there, firing nukes at North Korea.
Mutated babies.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's fucked.
It is fucked. And it's scary as well, looking at it from our point of view, because we're very quiet on the, war front. And I would never want a world war because I think that would be it.
Yeah.
I don't think we could have another war, and say, yeah, we'll just have a war but not use nukes. We'll leave them.
Yeah.
'Cause I think someone would press one, another one would press one, and it'd be game over.
Mm. It's so...
Which is so scary.
It's so ego-driven. There's... we're going to have to start wrapping up.
Mm.
We're at 2 hours. 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Jesus.
There's a brilliant video, and I swear I'm going to mention him every time on this podcast, by Lameno. And he says, and it's a video on how many times Earth has come in contact with possible destruction through nuclear war.
Right.
And he says that since, I'm going to misquote this completely, but it's in the thousands anyway. He says that since the invention of the nuclear bomb and the start of the Cold War, there has been upwards of 1,500 close calls where either Russia or America have launched nukes through either programming issues or like scanners picking up lens flares from the sun, or like solar flares or meteorites flying in past. And luckily in those times they were close to firing the nukes, but someone stepped in. How many more chances have we got?
Yeah.
How many more chances?
That's another thing that's just petrifying to think about.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll leave that.
Leave that one with you.
Leave that there, and definitely check out the video. It's very somber, so don't blame me if you get upset by it. It's something
could have
like
got a lot worse.
Nuclear Age or something on the Lameno channel. Anyway, we'll say, one thing we meant to do is people are going to ask questions, right? I don't know, did you watch the rest of the last podcast?
I think so.
Yeah, I said write your questions in the comments,
or DM
me them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got quite a few answers.
I bet you got millions.
Yeah, no one answered, asked any questions.
Oh, right.
So if you've got to this point of the video, please just comment a question, because it gives us something to talk about.
Yeah.
And if, for example, if the majority of the comments are about films, then it gives me a bit of a direction for it. So I know no one's going to comment, but I might as well say
drop a quick promo.
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, like, everything on OTA is 30% off at the moment.
Bloody hell. Christmas?
For Christmas. And it will be until the new year.
Okay.
So...
Cool.
I think it'll be linked, won't it? The website.
Yeah, it will be linked.
You can find us on social media.
Yeah, I'll link you as well.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do some bits on some clothing, hopefully. Get some designs down and implement that for the new year, probably.
Brilliant.
Hopefully.
Yeah, definitely by the new year.
Yeah. Right, so thank you for listening. It's been
much.
another Lucid podcast. The music's probably playing now. It's not for us live.
Banging tunes.
With some little computer magic from your boy, you'll be able to listen to the music. I'm actually hoping to do some actually do some music for myself, sort of thing.
Some bad tunes.
Just an outro song.
Alright.
Just not like, I don't want to be a sing-songwriter.
Lucid podcast.
I could sound grab that. keep that shit. Right. Thank you for listening, and I hope everyone has a great next week. This will be uploaded Saturday, the 16th. Lovely jubbly.